I'm Beth Unwin and I'm a legal advisor at EEF, which provides HR and legal consultancy services UK-wide. Managing sickness absence for a company means not only following the relevant employment legislation, but also having an effective HR strategy. There are many steps and individual actions that a company can take where employees take sick leave. At EEF, we advocate an overall approach that we call active case management. Active case management involves early intervention, maintaining an ongoing dialogue with the employee, and getting early and regular medical advice. It also involves putting line managers in a lead role and discussing and recording the impact on operations of the absence. It's important to have a written absence management policy. This should include rules for employees about cooperating with the company's management of their absence. For example, attending return to work interviews, notifying the company of their absence. In fact, the company could make the payment of company sick pay conditional on compliance with these rules. We think the policy should include an attendance review procedure, which would provide for triggers for review at certain points of absence or patterns of absence. And if that's not appropriate, for example, in case of long-term sickness with an underlying medical condition, there should be a separate procedure. We think that the policy should be explicit about the operational needs of the business for employees to be at work, and that there is a possibility of dismissal after certain lengthy or numerous absences. Whilst an employer will usually want to establish whether there is an underlying medical condition causing the sickness absence, they can get too bogged down in the legal technicalities of whether there is a disability under the Equality Act. Rather than that, we say focus on the actual barrier that is preventing the return to work or proper attendance, regardless of disability. It seems that many employers wrongly assume that they're not allowed to contact employees during sick leave. In fact, if it's done properly and sensitively, we say have as much contact with the employee on sick leave as possible. This ensures that the company has the up-to-date position on the employee's view of the situation, and it can also be positive for the employee who remains connected with the workplace. Generally, employers could make better use of medical advisors rather than simply sending off a standard letter to the occupational health or GP asking for a medical report. It's worth spending some time thinking about the right questions to ask. In that way, the employer will hopefully get a business-focused medical report back, and one with really practical and helpful advice. However, the main mistake that employees seem to make is not being proactive enough in their management of sickness absence. They avoid having difficult conversations and making decisions and let things drift. Ultimately, this makes matters worse. In fact, we would say that the big advantage of active case management is avoiding this pitfall for employers. For more information on how we support HR through tools, advice and guidance, visit eef.org.uk/HR.